What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a cool but sunny afternoon here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed, enjoying a day off, getting ready to knock out some new beers. Now, you may have noticed I had a brief delay over the weekend. I didn't turn out any videos. It was actually my wife's birthday the other day, and then my anniversary, my 20th anniversary. So, probably isn't best if I want to make it to 21 if I spent the day making videos in a beer shed, right? Anyway, one of the places that I did go to over the weekend was Marion Brewing Company in Marion, Ohio. Now, I'd never been out there before. I do know very little about Marion. I know there's a prison out there because I teach classes in one of the prisons up here. So I knew there was a prison out there, and that's about it. So we just drove out there. It was probably, I don't know, maybe about an hour or so, a little less than that to get there. Went in to check it out, and it was actually a really nice little place. So it kind of had a lot of the exposed brick, like an old industrial space kind of feel to it. But they did have some cool artwork on the walls. So if you look on the can, you kind of have this Art Deco MBC, Marion Brewing Company logo. They had that painted on the doors, was quite cool. Also had a number of beers on draft. So I think I tried 3 or 4. I had this is Good News, Bad News, which is a raspberry chocolate stout. I also had Burn to Bridge, which was a Scottish ale, which is quite nice. And I had the Popcorn Fest beer. So I guess their Oktoberfest/Fest beer kind of offering for that season. Now, the one thing I did like about this place is they had a lot of variety as to styles of beer. You know, I know me and Anderson have complained about this before. I know he went into some spot not that long ago, and they had 10 beers, and like 9 of them were IPAs. I get it. I understand people like IPAs. I understand it's a business move. You got to sell them if that's what people buy. I understand it, right? But you got to have something for other people, right? It can't just be IPAs. And I think that's why I was so excited when I went in here. So beers, they had a seltzer. Again, don't like them, but I get it. You got to have seltzers for the people that want those. This stout, a cafe umlaut, so it was a Kolsch with coffee and vanilla. My wife had that and quite liked it. They had a regular Kolsch. They did have a kettle party sour, passion fruit, orange and guava, regular old umlaut, Kolsch. Sprinkle some Mosaic on them, IPA, and then all gourd, no breaks, which was a pumpkin porter. Not a huge fan of pumpkin beers, but if you mix pumpkin with porter, it sounds pretty good. I wish I'd given that one a shot, but, I couldn't sit there and knock out beers all day. I have to do some other stuff as well. But I did get to try a few, picked up a glass, and got to bring one home. So, let's give this one a shot. Like I said, good news, bad news. This is a stout, 7.6% ABV, and this was raspberry chocolate, which is a wonderful combination. This looks quite nice. Look at that. I thought for sure it was going to go over the top there and I was going to be wearing it, but I narrowly averted danger. Color, if I break out my SRM chart from Brew HQ, this is obviously like dark black. I'd probably go to the top of the chart there with a 40. Head looks quite nice. We probably got finger and a half, 2 fingers of brown. Really nice looking, silky smooth looking head there. It looks really cool. So decent looking. Let's give it a sniff. You pick up some chocolate. It's more like kind of like a dark chocolate maybe. Pick up some raspberry, but it's not like a cloying, sweet, fake raspberry. It's a nice raspberry smell. And some kind of like roasted grain, toasted grain, like you'd expect in a darker stout, right? I mean, darker porters and stouts all kind of have a little bit of that roasted grain smell as well. All right, let's go in for it. Body, not super heavy for a stout. I don't know where people fall on that. I don't know. I like them sometimes quite thick, but I can deal with kind of the more medium-bodied ones as well. So to me, this is probably a little more on the medium, lower medium end than kind of that higher bit. So I'd say it's medium-bodied beer, pretty solid in those regards. Almost has a texture like an oatmeal stout, kind of like a little bit slick, but it's pretty decent. Flavor, you pick up some raspberry, but it's not over the top. Like I said, raspberry and chocolate, and the flavors in a porter tend to blend very well together. The only time you kind of ruin it is if they go overboard with the raspberry. With this, I say You smell the raspberry, but you also taste it, but it's not overpowering. It kind of nicely complements those rich, dark flavors that you get in the stout. And the chocolate isn't over the top either. It's not super sweet. So I know a lot of folks don't really dig the sweeter beers. Like I know the other day I did one, and Blue Ice was saying, I think I did that coconut truffle porter from Southern Tier. I think he said it was a little too sweet for him. And I will agree that one had some sweetness to it. I don't mind the sweet milk stouts. This one's not that though. You don't really have that big sweet taste to it like you would with a milk stout. This is kind of more traditional, and I quite like it. So I think it's pretty solid beer in that regard. So what would I say? Good news, bad news? I'd say it's mostly good news, right? Is a big thumbs up. This is a decent beer. Thrilled to be able to try it over the weekend. Thrilled to be able to check out Marion Brewing, and I look forward to returning again. It was a really cool little spot. If you're out in that part of Ohio, run by, check them out, man. I know a lot of towns, there's multiple breweries, and it's great to go knock them all out and hit 3 or 4 places in one night. Sometimes you gotta check out the other spots too. Go off the beaten path a little bit. You might surprise yourself when you find out what you see out there. So Marion Brewing was a cool place. Across the street was a little barbecue spot. I think it was called A Taste of Memphis, Memphis Barbecue. Food was off the hook. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and you're allowed to bring food in, so I had a pulled pork sandwich and a couple beers over there. Not a bad day all in all. Hey, if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you been out to the Marion Brewing Company? If so, what other beers should I be on the lookout for? I probably should have tried that All Gourd No Breaks, right? That's definitely a fall seasonal, and that season's about to pass, so I probably won't have a chance until next year. Hey, until next time, cheers.